Welcome to Mini Music Class, brought to you by Education Through Music Los Angeles. Today's lesson is designed for 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade students, and today we are making DIY music instruments. In this lesson, you will make your own musical instruments. We're going to make a tambourine and a pellet drum. Let's start off with looking at the history of the tambourine. The tambourine is a musical instrument in the percussion family. It is usually circular in shape with a drum head, although some tambourines don't have a drum head at all. It is always made with metal jingles called zills along the edge. The tambourine, like other percussion instruments, have been around for a really long time. Some experts found evidence of tambourines in ancient Mesopotamia. That's a civilization that existed roughly 6,000 years ago. Here are materials that we need to make our own tambourine. First, you'll need a foam wreath. You can find one of these over at the Dollar Tree. Then you need fabric. You can also find that at the Dollar Tree or at Walmart for about $1.50. You can use yarn or string, bells. There are bells available at the Dollar Tree, or if there's none there, you can buy them at any craft store. You'll also need duct tape, scissors, and an adult for extra help. First, you're going to open your fabric, unfold it, and place it face down on a flat surface. You're going to set your wreath right in the center of it, and you're going to use a writing utensil to draw a circle around the edge of your wreath. Next, you're going to use some scissors and you're going to cut around that circle, but not on the circle exactly. You need to give yourself a space of maybe about 2 or 3 inches away from that circle line. You might want to get an adult to help you with this part, seeing that it is kind of hard to cut fabric using scissors. On to the bells. First, if you look at your bell, you'll see at the top there's an opening. That's where you're going to put your yarn or your string through. Then you're going to tie your string or yarn onto your wreath. You're going to repeat that step by the number of bells that you want to add to your tambourine. My bells are pretty large in size, so I only use 5 of them. Once you're finished adding all of your bells, you're going to cut the extra string off with your scissors. Now, to make sure your bells stay in place, we're going to use a little piece of duct tape to tape the inside of the wreath. That way our bells doesn't slide anywhere and it's going to stay in the same position. After you finish taping it, you're going to set your wreath on top of your fabric. Where your bells are, you're going to draw a line going from the bell all the way to the edge of the fabric. After you finish doing that, you're going to use your scissors to cut along that line, and you're going to stop at the circle line that you have drawn earlier. You're going to repeat all of those steps one time for each bell that you have on your tambourine. Now it's time for us to wrap our tambourine. You're going to first take a section of the fabric and you're going to tuck it right in between your bells. If you have too much fabric when you wrap it around, you're going to cut off a little bit of the extra if you have to. Then, once you have it wrapped around, with the help of an adult, they can help tape the inside of the fabric to the inside of the tambourine. And you're going to repeat this step all the way around until all the fabric is pulled tightly around your wreath and is taped down with your duct tape. I know it looks crazy, but it's going to look amazing once you flip it over. All right, you guys, here's our tambourine. And you can play it just like a regular tambourine. You can tap in the middle, although you don't get as much of a sound, or you can use the edge to get you some really nice rhythms going. So, have fun with this one. Good job, you guys. Onwards to the Pella drum. And here's a little history. Although the Pella drum is used all across different parts of Asia, this Pella drum is a traditional children's toy in China. It's originally named balengu. The Pella drum was created about 3,500 years ago during the Shang Dynasty. It is a circular percussion instrument, and it has 2 drum heads and 2 string attachments with a bead on the end. And it is played by spinning the handle or by shaking it. Here is the materials list of what we need to make our own pellet drum. First, an oatmeal container, then duct tape, scissors, yarn or string, balloons, beads, wood craft sticks, and an adult for extra help. Now let's get started. We're going to take our scissors and we're going to cut 2 balloons in half. We're separating the bottom section, the part that you blow into, away from the top section, the big round section. We're going to keep those round parts for our drums. Then, with the help of an adult, cut your oatmeal container in half. And while they're at it, they need to poke 1 hole into the side of the container. And once they get the scissors in for the hole, just kind of turn the scissors around so that you make that hole a little bit more rounder. First, you're going to take your wooden craft stick and push it through the hole that was made on the side of your oatmeal container. Once it's in there, you're going to take a couple of strips of duct tape and tape it to the walls of your container. You want to make sure that it stays in place and it does not wiggle. After you've completed that, with the help of an adult, you're going to stretch your balloon around the edge of the container. And you also might have to have one person hold it in place while the other person uses the duct tape to tape all around the edges to make sure that the balloon does not pop off. You're going to repeat that step another time because you need 2 drum heads, one on one side of the container and another one on the other side of the container. Now that we got the hard part out the way, we can move on to the beads. First, you're going to take some string or yarn and you're going to cut it to the length of a piece of paper. Then you're going to take some duct tape and you're going to tape one end of your string or yarn. Make sure you tape it tightly. Once you finish that, you're going to take that taped end and you're going to push it through the beads. And then you're going to make sure that that bead does not fall out on the other side. You're just going to push it halfway and repeat everything one more time for the second bead. Next, we have to attach our beads to our drum. How I did it was that I set my bead on top of my drum and moved my strings to the side of it. I held it in place and then I take a tiny piece of duct tape and taped it onto the drum. With my scissors, I cut off the extra strings that hung out at the bottom. And then I repeated that with the other side and with the other bead. Once both of those are finished, add a little extra tape to the bottom of your drum just to give extra security for your wooden stick to not shake when you are playing your instrument. And here is our Pella drum. As you can see, I've added some sparkle with our sparkly duct tape that I had on hand. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. You can use stickers or whatever else, or just keep it with the cool duct tape that you did choose to use. That would be just fine. And so this is how you're going to play it. You're going to be holding onto the stick, but we're not going to hold it in the regular way. We're going to put our hands flat like this, almost like we're clapping our hands together. And while you have your hands together, you're going to slide back and forth, back and forth. And those pellets are going to do all the work for you. Here's what it sounds like. Pretty neat, right? Good job, you guys. I hope you enjoyed those instruments that we created today. Thank you for learning with us in mini music class, brought to you by Education Through Music Los Angeles. We hope that you be safe, have fun, and you keep learning all summer long. And don't forget to keep making music. Have a wonderful summer. Bye, guys.